and welcome to our new episodes of Collagen Talks. My name is Florencia Moreno, Business Development Manager here at Rousselot. A few weeks ago, Rousselot Health and Nutrition commissioned England Marketing to work on a focus group amongst women that have been taking Peptan bovine or Peptan marine for 3 months. Today, we have as a guest, and we're very happy with it, Clare Otridge from England Marketing. And she's going to share with us some of the insights and some of the key findings from this exercise. Clare, before we go into the focus group findings, could you introduce yourself, please?
So my name is Clare Otridge. I'm the account director at England Marketing. We're a market research agency based in the UK, and we specialise in food and drink product development. So we recruited and ran a focus group of women who were who'd been taking either the bovine or the marine collagen peptide, and we found the results really interesting. And it's certainly one that I will be looking at personally in more depth myself.
Thank you, Clare. Okay, so now let's dive into the focus group. What were the participants' profiles and what was the overall background?
So we specifically looked at ladies aged 30 to 60. We had 10 ladies who'd been taking the supplement for 12 weeks prior to attending the focus group. We had 2 of them on the Peptan marine and 8 of them on the Peptan bovine. 4 of them were in the age 30 to 40 bracket. 2 of them were in the age 40 to 50 and 4 in the 50 to 60 group. So we had a really good spread of ages. We had a nice mix and some really interesting dialogue about the types of results seen on the different collagens. And we know that the majority of the ladies said that they would recommend it to a friend or buy it themselves.
Okay, thank you. And what was a general perception before these participants started taking collagen? Were they aware of collagen? Did they try it before? What can you tell us about this?
They all had a level of awareness about collagen because it's something that's been sort of talked about quite a lot in the last 5 years across lots of beauty channels and magazines and things like that. But they weren't really aware of it in what form it would take. So when we first looked at recruitment, a lot of them thought it was going to be injectables. Some of them had heard of it as part of a sort of an ingredient within face creams. No one was familiar with it as taken as a food supplement. So we were quite surprised at that. And there was more awareness about collagen and the effects of it in the younger age groups. In the older age groups, they were less familiar of it, but knew of it as something that they probably needed to think about. There was also the perception that it was mainly for skin, mainly for sort of facial applications, and not a lot of knowledge at all about its uses for hair or nails or any of the other benefits that were noted throughout the period that they were trying it.
Oh, that's very interesting because, I mean, we live in the collagen world, in the ingestible collagen world. And sometimes we just take as a given that everyone knows what collagen is for and that you can get it in a tablet or a powder and so on. But yeah, based on what you're telling us, it's clearly not the case. And there's still a lot of room for us to communicate about the benefits of collagen or even its mere existence as a food supplement.
And it's really interesting because it's only really just taking off as something becoming on people's radars in the UK. So there's quite a lot of social media activity around collagen. There's a few brands that people are aware of if they're active on social media and it's something that they're tapped into. But in terms of having that awareness and understanding of what it is, how to take it, when to take it, why to take it, the UK just isn't quite there. And it's a really good opportunity for collagen suppliers.
Okay, so we already discussed a little bit about like the pre-perceptions before starting the trial. During this 12-week period, not when they were over, but just during, which perceptions you started to know that change or that started being formed around collagen consumption as a supplement?
So this was a really interesting one because a lot of the participants said that they noticed tangible differences at the 6-week point. And because we knew what to look for with the science, having that dialogue with you guys, we knew that they probably wouldn't start to see anything happening until after 6 weeks, probably not noticeably on an individual level, between sort of 8 and 10 and onwards from there. But they were saying that their hair was thicker, it was shinier, they were noticing some new growth. There was also, post 6 weeks, a lot of people noticed that their hair hadn't shed as much. And that was a comment that was really coming through. So I think had they had a longer period, they would have noticed, those that hadn't have noticed the thicker hair probably would have noticed it had they continued longer, because they were getting that new growth and they were reducing shedding. It was just having to take some time to kind of grow through. A lot of the participants said that their skin felt better and plumper after a few weeks. Overall, the hair and nail quality was the one that really stood out, which was, given that they were looking harder for kind of perceptible differences in their skin, we kind of took the idea that the fact that they saw so much difference in their hair and nails was sort of a real indicator that there was some noticeable differences going on there. The other thing that we hadn't expected to come across that was really pulled out in the focus group was that their overall feeling of wellness, because of the psychological effects of taking a supplement, and because they were being more conscious about their appearance, they were taking better care of themselves. So a lot of them said the overall feeling of wellness and of wanting to do better for their skin, wanting to do better for their hair and nails, made sort of a big difference as well. So it was kind of the physical benefits and the psychological benefits. They all said they felt just so much better for taking it, and that they were really doing something positive for their body.
Yes, well, all of this actually makes a lot of sense. And also, if we look at it from the, we all have a different response when we take a supplement. So, of course, it makes sense that some people see results faster than others, and so on. I mean, we're so different. But overall, it's nice to hear that most of them were already feeling or being conscious of these benefits, and that it impact also their mental states and what they wanted to do to improve overall their health and wellness. So after 3 months, the Peptan supply ran out and it was time to wrap it up. What can you tell us about what these participants had to share regarding their whole Peptan experience?
So all of them, without any exception, had a very positive experience. And those that had told us they were less likely to recommend it or buy it, by the end of the focus group, when we kind of talked around the subject more, had been sort of convinced that actually they probably just needed to give it a bit longer. I can tell by the fact that not one person who attended they've all emailed me to say, where can I get it? How do I know it's the real deal? So they all were very keen to continue taking collagen without exception. The benefits they've noticed are enough that everybody was very happy with the price point. They were very happy with the product. They all thought it was definitely something that they would like to continue as part of their hair care, skin care, wellness routine. There were mixed opinions on the packaging format. Some like the sachets because they found it easier to take to work, to take away with them. Others would prefer a scoop and a tub if it could be recyclable, because that's something that's important to them. But the options for that were split. So perhaps look at doing two variations of that would be a possibility there. But yeah, overall, an absolutely overwhelming result. We've never had a focus group where we've had complete consensus across the group quite like that before.
That's very good news for the Peptan world, of course. Okay, so zooming into hair beauty, could you tell us a little bit more about which kind of benefits or highlight which kind of benefits did participants see, or were they starting to see?
It was really in all of the factors that they were sort of that you'd look for in hair. They were getting new growth. It was much shinier. It was softer. It was easier to manage, which was a big one for the ladies who had sort of curly hair or longer hair. It was, although some of them experienced sort of at the 4-week point, their hair got a little bit tangled at times. By the 6-week point, that was not an issue at all. So I'm not a hair specialist, but I'm assuming that was kind of part of the growing out phase or the less shedding phase, or something was going on there. But again, that was very few people experienced that. I think the biggest one for a lot of people was, it was just the quality of their hair overall. There was, all of the markers were there, but it was just the overall, they just felt better. They said that they sort of had that fresh out of the salon, fresh out of the hairdressers feel the whole time.
Thank you, Claire. So now we're going to wrap up this session with the last question. And the topic is going to go more in the sense of marketing and communication for business to consumer companies and brands. So if you were to give a key insight or a key tip to these business to consumer companies, what would it be?
So the real opportunity in communicating about the product is in the fact that it's still a fairly new idea, as demonstrated by the fact that a lot of the focus group weren't aware that it was a supplement. And there's also, they don't have a lot of trust. They find out about these products and they naturally go online, go on Google, and they're not finding the brands and the research that they want to. There's a lot of noise out there without any clear communication on the benefits of the product, where they can get the real deal from. And I think that's a really good opportunity there to be that marketplace leader, to be the brand that people trust, that people know, that people are familiar with, they're looking for that product. And I think that that's a really good opportunity to kind of be the number one brand that people go for, and that they have confidence in that it'll work, and from there just kind of take it and run with it.
Okay, so basically you recommend this kind of mix of, okay, what you find online by Googling, which is celebrities, influencers, and so on one side, also kind of work in synergy with actual science. So this would be a win-win combination.
Exactly. At the moment, a lot of the collagen supplements that they were aware of had a lot of social media activity, which people approach quite dubiously and cautiously, particularly if it's something that they're ingesting. And I think that because there isn't that scientific-led research background and product knowledge out there, they're really looking for something that they can latch onto and know that it's the truth, rather than just someone's opinion or someone's paid for reviews.
Okay, well, clearly still a lot to be done in this term of collagen peptides, education, communication. And hopefully, at least from our side at Rousselot Health and Nutrition, we always try to really try for that. So everything science-backed and so on. Well, with this, I would like to wrap up our Collagen Talk episode. Claire, thank you very much for your time and expertise today. I hope that you, if you're watching or listening to this, you have enjoyed it. And if you want to keep up to date with Peptan and its benefits, or our newest Collagen Talks episodes, feel free to follow us on social media or go to peptan.com. Until next time, bye-bye.